welcome.
It's time for your daily dose of it.
There's been a lot going on with the superhero movies as of late. DC, Marvel, we don't care. We don't care what side you're on.
Batman is the best.
We've got the Batman trailer. We got the Fantastic Four. What was this past weekend? There was a big thing that just
There was
happened.
some sort of comic book convention of CinemaCon thingy that it was in a place not near South Carolina and very much expensiver than I can affordest.
Yes.
Gay!
So we didn't go, but we'll watch this video and this guy is going to break it down.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Emergency Awesome? He does these videos all the time. I'm a pretty big fan of this guy. He used to give me my a fix back when we were doing the Infinity War Endgame thing, and I had to look up plot leaks every single day just to satiate my MCU hunger. And now I don't even watch them anymore because I think they suck.
There it is. All right. So Fantastic Four teaser. Galactus.
Pedro
is here,
Pascal is
baby.
a pretty dude.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie.
He's a
Marvel
pretty dude.
released a
Sorry.
bunch of new previews for the Fantastic Four.
The director came out and said that there are no other superheroes in this universe as of right now.
Yes, let's just say that. It made me very excited to hear there are no other superheroes in the Fantastic Four universe. Now, here's the caveat. At the end of that movie, they're going to be in somebody else's universe. So, and that's where all the other superheroes are, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess so.
There were a bunch of first looks at Silver Surfer. What's going
That's
on
Silver
with her
Surfer.
during the movie?
Surfer.
Is that a girl Silver Surfer?
Yeah, they have a female Silver
So we'll
Surfer.
break it all
That
down.
was one of the
If you're
big
brand
things
new to
people
the
are
channel,
upset about.
I didn't even know that.
all the videos
Has
for
there
the
ever been a
video,
female Silver
subscribe to get
Surfer?
everything. And because this
In the
movie
comics,
is
you
going
mean?
to tie into Avengers
Or-
Doomsday, Kevin Feige literally zoomed
Never seen the
Paul in
dude
from
before.
set of that movie while they're filming to talk about Chairwalk.
Yeah, he
and how
also
that's
come
gonna be
out. Kevin
happening again
Feige
later
said
this year.
that
Not them literally.
all the people that are going to be fighting Doctor Doom in the Avengers Doomsday is the Avengers, obviously,
Okay.
the Fantastic Four team, the Wakandans, and the X-Men.
And the X-Men, yeah, they've been talking about the bringing in the X-Men from the old universe again.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
All day to watch
See
more
how it
chairs,
shakes
but
out
them announcing
in real
more
life,
actors
though.
for
Right,
Avengers
yeah.
Doomsday. There was also a bunch of Thunderbolts.
I think
footage
this
they
is their
brought to
chance to
CinemaCon,
kinda
so I'll
right
play
the
a
ship.
video for that stuff too at some point. But the real big.
Obviously,
news
they're
stuff we
gonna.
hadn't
You
seen
see the
before
names.
was all
We
the
talked about this. They're gonna
Fantastic
have
Four related
the.
stuff.
They're
The
gonna have the
pictures of
nostalgia.
Fantastic Four in their spacesuits preparing
the
for a
Marvel
mission. They're
fans, fandom.
astronauts in the context of the movie before they get their powers. For people asking what they're cooking here, what Johnny Storm is messing with these 4 different containers, it's meant to look just like the Apollo.
It's a cooler
11
for drinks.
astronauts. This level of technology, it's just part of their life support systems.
Yeah,
Into space. The way that Matt Shackman explained their characters is that
They need to just stick to making a good story instead of trying to like workshop stuff to us and test group it. And it's easy too because you can just go to the comic books. There are tons of great stories in there. You can go right to the comic books.
Yeah. That's what. That's the thing is they could make plenty of. Oh, is it gonna be her?
Ooh, I love Jennifer Garner.
So Jennifer Garner's gonna be Silver Surfer. That's cool.
Popular. Like this scene during the previous trailers with them on the stand here is based on a Beatles performance.
Oh, that's
See, now
awesome.
that actually reminds me more of the stand that they stand on in Endgame right before they teleport.
Oh yeah.
That looks a lot like that to
Real
me.
life 1960s. So there are a couple aspects.
I
to the movie
love,
that they sort of
love
baked in
how cool it.
Hard
I love
Day's
the
Night
nostalgia.
vibe to it. If you never saw
Yeah, I
the
like
movie,
old
it
19s,
was
50s, and
about the
60s
Beatles
stuff.
that they made during the
This is
1960s,
so cool. I
during
love the
height
Beatles.
of their
It's been
popularity.
a
That's
hard
kind of the vibe
day's
their
night.
characters just enjoy on this earth. Then
I
all
want
of
a
a
TV like
sudden,
that.
Galactus and
Mhm.
Silver Surfer show up, and shit gets real. The brand new CinemaCon footage opened with them going on a talk show and then talking
there it
about their
is.
powers, how they got their abilities. Then there's a scene of them having their family dinner, which we've seen them tease, like we're here, 7 on the dot, no matter what. The whole idea is that Reed Richards and Sue Storm are suddenly late to dinner in this particular instance, but they make up for it by revealing that Sue Storm is pregnant with Franklin Richards.
Franklin
This is
Richards.
part of the scene where you see Franklin
Ooh,
Richards
he's a
trying to make
groovy
it
guy.
like he's acting like a cook,
He's
trying to
super
make things
powerful.
even
He's
better.
ridiculously
Oh
powerful.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, is this
Oh.
guy good
I think they did a great job casting his voice
Johnny
actor.
Storm, her younger brother, congratulates them on the baby, saying that Sue's going to make a great mother, but Reed has some work to do. Like, you're not a great dad right now. Maybe you eventually get better. It kind of sounds like we won't get the traditional origin story, and we'll just learn about it through them explaining it and some footage of it in retrospect on monitors. Like we see Ben Grimm.
Well, I feel like
watching
this
him
is the
when he's
third
still used to
installment
being
of, or
human
third
form. There's a couple scenes
time
later in
they've done the
trailer
Final
that
Four. I
actually
feel
look
like
it's
Fourth.
Sue giving birth
There
to
was
Frank
actually might
Miller.
even be
We see
fifth. There were
Silver
two
Howard
really,
figuring
really
something out and
poor
discovering
attempts
while
done in
Reed
the
is trying to
80s.
hold her.
But it was
yeah.
done
The idea
just
is that at
because
some
the
point she is meant to actually
rights to
give
the
birth
IP
to
runs
Frank
out if you
Richards
don't
during
use
the
it
movie
in a certain
itself.
period of time. So
Yeah.
they would make a
Part of
shitty
the
movie
reason
just to
why
retain the
Galactus has
rights.
come to
Smart,
Earth.
but also
Then they
stupid.
move to a
Yeah.
new scene where it seems like everything's been going
Oh, that
well,
looks
like
cool.
everybody's happy.
So it's like, I
And
mean,
all of a
guys,
sudden,
we
Silver
understand the
Surfer, played by
origin
Julia
here.
Garner from
Yep,
Ozark,
so
shows
Julie
up.
Garner.
This is what it looks like.
Awesome.
Comes to Earth and warns the Fantastic Four that their world has been marked for imminent destruction.
Is she
The
gonna have
coming
that
of
same
Galactus,
southern accent?
basically, from the
Hi,
comics.
y'all.
The whole story of their dad
Galactus is
from
coming,
the
y'all.
first
And,
Galactus
you
trilogy
know,
with Stan Lee and Jack
bada
Kirby
bang, bada bang,
called
bada boom.
The Coming of
Bada bang,
Galactus.
bada boom.
Then they jump to the scene of the shadow of Galactus looming over New
That's
York
cool.
City.
I
And
like
the
that
Silver
too.
Surfer telling the heroes that they're in a race against time to save Earth from destruction. A civilian asked Reed Richards, are they going to be okay? Like, will regular people be okay because Galactus is so huge? Reed Richards answers them saying, I don't know. We see him
Oh.
consumed by his research, burdened by their heroic responsibilities to save this world. And remember, they're on their own because there are no other superheroes to help them. Then there's a scene of Sue Storm and Reed Richards making a promise for the future of their child, Franklin Richards, and we're shown.
And they
that
shoot him
Reed
off in a
giving
capsule to
speech and telling
Krypton.
the public that the Fantastic Four will protect them. Like, we will save this Earth from this threat. Then the trailer ends with a shot of Silver Surfer riding on the surfboard away from the burning flames of an explosion. It seems like it's happening after this scene here where Galactus actually does show up on Earth. So they're sort of breaking up the Silver Surfer scene
Galactus,
into
played by
Galactus
the
when they
deep-voiced
happen in the actual
Ralph
movie. But
Ineson.
part of the idea of the movie,
I wish I had a
because
voice
remember,
deep
they're meant
like
to be main
his.
characters
Same.
during Avengers Doomsday.
I got a
That's
little
why they
girl
revealed
voice.
all the characters are coming.
Chair
back.
watch.
They're meant to start this in another universe. This whole Earth, this place where Galactus shows up to destroy the world, consume the world, is meant to be in an alternate universe. So at some point, they had to make it to the MCU. So I think part of the idea is that we're actually going to watch what happens when Galactus does wind up destroying a world, consuming a world, and they are unsuccessful in saving theirs.
That would be cool. That would be really dope.
They're
If we
probably
actually get to see Galactus eat a planet.
them in
Yeah.
Avengers Doomsday, and why they want to work so hard to save the MCU Earth, because they weren't able to save theirs, and they failed on their promise to all the regular citizens.
I
to
like
save
Vanessa
them.
Kirby too.
So it's probably a
She's
situation
hot.
where they're like, we failed.
And a
on
good
that,
actress.
we're
That's
going
not
to
why I
fail
said
again.
that.
Also because the MCU
Man, I forgot he was on
is
camera
their
for a
new
second.
home. At the end of the movie,
Oh,
they wind up
July.
escaping the destruction of the Earth by using Reed Richards' multiverse bridge that he's got on his chalkboard here. He's been studying multiverse portals.
How long his
This probably
chalkboard is
taken a
too.
little bit from the Jonathan Hickman run. And at the end of the movie, as the world's being destroyed, they basically just hop to the MCU, which explains how they wind
They
up
look like
in
their little
Avengers
robot
Doomsday.
too.
Yeah.
There's been no talk about Silver Surfer coming to the MCU. I think that this version of Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner, is meant to be destroyed in this universe or stays in this universe. And at least the way that everybody's been talking about this version of Galactus in the MCU movies is that it'll be a multiverse being, meaning there'll only be one version of Galactus for every single universe. In the comics, there's a version of Galactus in every single universe. Supposedly, at the end of the movie, or maybe in the post-credits scene, the big reveal will be Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. He's supposed to appear for the first time during the Fantastic Four movie. We don't know if that's
That
gonna be
pissed
at the
me
very
off.
end of the film
Really?
or in the
Just
actual
cheapens
post-credits
everything
scene
about
itself.
what happened to
But it
him.
kind of implies his Doctor Doom.
I love
is
that
the
moment. The
main
I am
Doctor
Iron Man
of
moment.
this
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
moment.
Fantastic Four universe.
And you ruin it.
Supposedly, Chris Evans' alternate version of Steve Rogers that he's returning as for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars is also supposed to appear in that post-credit scene.
What
That
are we
might be
doing
the
here,
post-credit scene.
guys? What are we doing? They're all back all of a sudden?
Dang.
What's the point? What's the point? Why did you give Sam Wilson a shield and color him red, white, and blue just to give him back? Just for
Just for him to come
Where you see
back.
Doctor Doom slowly putting
I
his
hate
team
you,
together
America.
to take care of the incursions and wind up ultimately destroying the MCU. The way that Kevin Feige talked about Avengers Doomsday,
That was
because
a funny
at the
video.
CinemaCon
Yeah.
panel, he was actually Zoom calling into the panel from the set of Avengers Doomsday as they get ready to start filming. He basically said that Avengers Doomsday is the MCU heroes, the new Avengers team that winds up forming, the Thunderbolts, who are also there, the original X-Men, and the Fantastic Four, the newer Fantastic Four team, all working together to fight against Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom.
That's cool.
But I think part of the idea is that all the different teams are slowly battling against each other before they start working together, realizing that they are in common cause against Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom. Because the way they've been pitching his Doctor Doom is that he shows up pretending to be the Tony Stark of their universe because he looks just like him and he uses that to his advantage. Kevin Feige
I
didn't
feel like that's
completely
fine.
explain why he's coming to the MCU, like what particularly he's going to do to try and.
Well, why does he look like
to save the
Iron
multiverse
Man?
if it
Yeah.
means the destruction of the MCU? But in the Time Runs Out comic,
Because there's already an evil Iron Man, and he's
some
called
of the
Superior
universes
Iron Man.
He destroys in order to save some of the other universes. Ultimately, though, he's unsuccessful, and they wind up learning
The
about
Beyonders.
I still
know
think
they're
it's
gonna be
it's a
using the
trick.
Beyonders during this live-action
You think it's a
movie.
trick that he's not the real Doom?
I think
But
they're
in the
bringing
comics,
Iron
that
Man
is how
back,
he
and they
gains
just
the
wanted
power
to
of the Beyonders,
include
making
him in
them
the
God,
cast.
Emperor Doom,
So they're
and then
telling
combines
people
the
he's
fragments
Doom.
of the remaining universes into the single battle world, saving as many people as he possibly can.
I wish they would lie to us.
But also sort of using it as a soft reset, changing everyone's memories, so everybody that does survive to Battleworld or the Void, or however they visualize it during the movie MCU version of this, everybody wakes up on that world thinking that things have always been that way. They don't remember their original universes. Then it sounds like the movie version will play out a little bit more like the Jonathan Hickman more recent 2010
That's some
Secret
crazy cool
Wars,
art.
where they all
Oh, yeah,
battle
dog.
against God Emperor Doom to eventually restore the multiverse so they can go back to their original universes. Kevin Feige also did confirm that the chairs that they did reveal, the chair watch, was not the only cast for Avengers Doomsday. They only revealed part of the cast.
Jeez, that's a lot
What
of
Marvel
people.
will
There's a lot of
probably do,
people.
though, because I don't think they want to replicate the chair watch, like it won't be exactly like that. There'll be some other
Chair
reveals
watch.
piecemeal later this year where you learn about a couple more characters at any given time, because they're basically going to be filming Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back with like a couple weeks break between them. So pretty much for the rest of this year, at any given time, you'll hear about them filming new scenes. Like there's already been scenes from them filming Avengers Doomsday that have been posted online. For the most part, I'm expecting all the original Avengers to come back as different variants of their characters, the ones who died or the ones who retired. Chris Evans, good example of that. He didn't die, like Old Man Cap is still around in the MCU, but the way that Chris Evans is probably coming back is this multiverse variant that's on Doctor Doom's team.
Oh, that's
Cap
cool.
character to ever be on screen for Marvel.
That is a flat out lie.
Ever.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
she's
I think
locking
someone
down
said
Natasha
that
back as another version of Natasha from another universe.
Doctor Doom is
Really
going to
good
build a
example of this,
variant
too, is Halle
team,
Berry's
Mhm.
Storm.
and it's going to be
She
the
keeps saying
original
that she's not
Avengers,
in the
but
movie,
evil.
but the way
That's
that
cool.
they
I could get
put
behind
this out,
that.
she's definitely in the movie.
Because they're
She
not
says
playing
it's
their
locked
same
down for
characters.
real,
It's
like
not a
they haven't
cheapening
figured
of
out
this.
exactly
Yeah.
how much they're going to pay her yet.
That would be pretty
So
cool
for
to
a lot
see.
of characters that you didn't hear about in the first chair watch, that's basically what's going on. I'm working on a bigger video for the X-Men just in general. I'll try to post that this weekend. But because it is CinemaCon, there was a whole bunch of other trailer footage. Like we got all the Superman footage that they posted
Yeah.
online. I've already done a video for that, so I'll link
Really
it at the
quick
end
too,
of this.
they announced
They
the
also
fourth
revealed they're gonna
Spider-Man.
be dropping
Yeah,
a
yep,
brand new
yep, yep.
Tron Ares trailer Saturday morning.
I saw
too,
about
so of
this
course I'll
too.
do a video
But I've
for
never
that.
been to care
Completely
about
unrelated to
Tron at all.
Marvel.
Yeah, I think
I'm a
I've
big
seen
fan
one of
of
the Tron
Tron.
movies. It
They're
was
doing a lot
alright,
more
but I
Tron
never got
stuff.
to the
We'll
whole
see if it works this
universe.
time better.
I mean, it looks
They
cool.
tried to bring Tron back a long time ago. It just did not stick. People just were not down for it at the time. Jared Leto supposedly playing the antagonist of the movie, the titular Ares, so you make all the Morbius Morbin time jokes that you want. We will see what other footage leaks out from CinemaCon. There was a bunch of stuff that they showed off, but they didn't put everything online. When they do,
I'm pretty
wind up
excited
releasing that,
about
of
this
course, they'll do a
next
brand
step
new
in the
video,
Marvel
which will probably be a
universe
little
and the
bit different
MCU.
I mean, after watching this video, I'm much more excited about this going forward, just because some of the differences that they discuss. The variant team being evil and not necessarily like, let's just bring back the old Avengers and put them
entire-
on screen and they'll be the good guys again. We can, yeah. No, don't want to see that again. I wouldn't go watch that in the theaters if that's what happened.
I do think it's confusing because it's like they're in a tough spot of like they want to. I feel like everything in life gets to this point where it's not as popular. Like when Marvel first came out, it wasn't as popular as it is now. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
you have a bunch of new people get involved, and it goes through this phase of like peak, and then everybody starts to hate everything they do. It happens with celebrities. It happens like with sports. It happens all the time.
I think sometimes they get oversaturated.
And I think it's just at that point where I feel like some of the stuff that they've done post in-game has not been as bad as people think. But I think there's a lot of new fans who are like, oh, it hasn't been as good because they expect every movie to be in-game. And then they don't understand that, like, when you a lot of people just hopped on to Marvel, right? So Iron Man came out in 2008.
Been a long time.
And it took 15, 12, 13, 14 years or so
to build up to it.
and so people are expecting now, it's like, why is it's taking so slow? And it's like, well, it takes time to build some of it. And I just think that's the newer fans that's their reason for not liking the new Marvel stuff. And then you got the purists who are like, okay, now I feel like they're doing too much to appease the new fans.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you got the people who's just like, there's different quarrels that people are having, like with the DE hires, with Thor being too funny, stuff like that. But like,
how dare them?
But I think the basic where people are thinking Marvel isn't as good is the people who are saying the newer fans who are just like, oh, this isn't in game, everything's not in game, and then Marvel's trying to appease those guys, and now the traditionalists, they're like, okay, like they're doing too much for them. What about us? So it seems like that's kind of the issue. And then now Marvel's like, so now their thought process here is the best way to explore the multiverse, to get excitement back and start winning people over, is let's bring in these faces that these people love.
Well, you always want to have recognizable people. I think that they just have their fingers in too many pies. They're trying to do too much at once as opposed to focusing on, because what happened is you had all these core movies. You're right. They built it and they developed it slowly over time.
Yeah.
And we grew to love the characters, and it crescendo to this great big thing.
Yeah.
And not everything's going to be that way. But then after that, they didn't go back to, I think, building the characters the right way. They just tried, like, let's get a character for every demographic. We need a character from every decade. We need a character from every like team, so that everybody's happy. And in the process, they pissed everybody off.
And then and the thing is too, is Marvel in general, like not just the studio, not just the movies, like the comics went through those rough patches. Like, and that's what people, when you're telling, because I think Marvel is one thing that can go forever, obviously.
Mm-hmm. In the right hands.
But it's like the comics, you go through lulls, and I think it happens. It's a part of, like, SNL. Anything great, everything goes back to SNL for me. Anything great that lasts a very long time, and it has its peaks and valleys.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. I feel like people need to just kind of like, at the end of the day, they're just movies about superheroes. Let's just stop being critics. Stop being, I don't know.
But then we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah. Then we don't have anything. Now we don't even have a show anymore at this point. But at that point, it's like, like
I get what you're saying. Like, it's the balance. Like, you want to talk and have fun with it, but in the other hand, it is a movie.
Yeah,
it's about comic books. It's about a superhero.
Yeah.
So they're already unbelievable. I get what you're saying. I think there's a good balance to it somewhere in there.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I've seen some and I leave and I'm like, oh, like that was not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna go and be like, well, this wasn't good because this, and this, and just be like a Debbie Downer. I just feel like there's too many.
No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. I'd prefer to focus on the positive than the negative.
This is why I can never do reviews on stuff, because I'm always the guy that's like,
it was good.
It was art. Yeah, like they're making.
I liked it. That's me. My reviews.
I'm too nice.
It's here's your top 7 movies from this category. Number 7, this movie. I liked it. Number 6, I liked it too.
Well, that was like when we did the SNL. We were like our top 5.
Yeah.
I don't even think we posted this video on his channel.
Yeah.
But what we didn't post was that we mentioned like a million other people.
Yeah.
Because we were like, no, everyone's got to get mentioned.
Yeah, 1,000 people get mentioned. Yeah.
And if we had posted that video, people would have been like, oh, that's too much. Like, this was supposed to be a top 5. You guys, and that's what Marvel's doing right now.
We screwed up.
Bring it around, baby.
Don't blame me. No, Marvel's terrible. I'm just kidding. At least they're not DC.
Ugh.